we have ourselves a rainy day. And it is on rainy days, feeling a bit reflective. Cue the pensive music. Today I want to talk about learning. More importantly, how we learn and how we benefit from the things that we learn. There once was a time when you had to go look up stuff in a library. Talk to someone who had a skill. You had to seek out information. You literally had to seek out information, either in the form of a person or a book. And I guess that's also why in third world countries, education is so important. What you're really doing is you're giving them the information that they cannot find. Until they get connected to the internet, and then it's a whole different story. Which brings us to today's reality. If you want to learn anything new, you go to the internet. You type in your question. How do I cook an omelette? How do I buy pallets of clothing to sell? How do I change a tire? How do I sell on eBay? And you'll get so many answers that you'll probably not know what to do with it all. You'll probably watch a few things, read a few things, and get some sort of a starting point. But there comes a point when you start doing, and then you need to know what your next step's gonna be. So you've started, and you need to know what's the next thing that fits. Your imagination, for the most part, starts to kick in, because you'll start to wonder how this can apply, how this can benefit, how this can make your life better. And the imagination is kind of like your fit filter. Because your imagination knows you, it knows the space you're in, it knows your finances, it knows all the things about you that are and things that you wish your situation to be. Your imagination knows the kind of person you want to be, your imagination knows the kind of money you want to make, your imagination knows how much work you wish to do for the life you want to live. And I think because your imagination has such insider knowledge, we tend to lean into what we imagine. And sometimes people will judge us for that. They will say things like, that's not realistic. You heard that. That's not realistic. That's not how it works. They'll say things like, I think you need to adjust your expectations more. So far, that seems reasonable, until you realize that most people don't know you as much as your imagination does. Interesting. Most people don't know what you dream about. Most people don't know how you live your life the way you do. Most people don't know how you prefer your eggs. Most people don't know the temperature at which you prefer your coffee. Most people don't know the side on which you sleep every night. Most people don't know the things that cause you emotional pain and the things that cause you to you're giddy with glee. Most people do not know, but we still listen to them, oftentimes more than our own imagination. That's not to say that the natural conclusion is that we should just live alone and imagine, but it's worth noting that we don't know everything about everything else, but we do know about ourselves. So this is where the power of conversation comes in. The power of conversation. Good conversation. I'm going to plug the listing live streams eventually in this video. You guys can see where this video is going. But I wanted to get there, to tell you why it's so important to me that this format continues. Why I love these sessions that I get to host with you guys in the community. It's a good conversation that allows us to lean more and more into our imagination, because when you find yourself in a safe space with people who care about what you do and care about you, when you feel safe enough to talk about your dreams, your fears, the things that make you happy, the things that make you sad, the things that move you and the things that you honestly don't give a shit about, and be told that it's okay because it's you, when you start hearing things like, given what I know about you, I would adjust my expectations accordingly, or accordingly, can go both ways. You actually find yourself more able to lean into your imagination with less self-doubt. And I think that's a powerful thing. That despite the existence of free information all over the internet, that despite the endless supply of people telling you how to do things and how you should run your life, all it takes is a series of good conversations where others have had the chance to hear you out, understand what is important to you, make you feel safe enough to open up. When that recommendation finally comes, it fits, it feels right. And the best part about it is, it cannot happen in a single conversation for the most part. It's a series of conversations over time, because as much as I would like to think that the person selling me something already knows me based on a series of questions they have asked, as technically awesome as those questions may be, it hits different when that person comes back a week later and says, I've given what you said some thought. Or if that person replies to you 3 weeks later when you've decided to say something else, and they've gone, you said this 3 weeks ago, this thing you're saying now makes absolute sense to me because those two things together help me to understand you a lot more than if I heard those two things separately. And it's just like, wow. And having understood that, that's why I love the listing live streams that we run on the channel, because it's that space where we come together and we work together, and then we get to talk together, and as a result, get to lean more and more into our imagination together and celebrate that. Because we say this all the time, what's the point of money if it doesn't make you happy? The reason we talk about chasing money so much is because it's the one thing we can all agree upon without having to understand each other. I mean, surely you want more money, right? Like most people will go, yeah, I guess, I don't want less. Well, then we agree. But how deep is that agreement compared to, I understand you, I get you, you should do this, and you do it, and you've leaned into your imagination, you've done something unique to yourself, and have a community go, that's totally awesome that you've leaned into you as you were intended to be. If this sounds a bit woo-woo, I'm not sorry. I guess I'm just a bit of a woo-woo kind of guy. Or maybe it's because most of us who do reselling at the scale that we do reselling on eBay, from our garages, from our bedrooms, storage units, tiny warehouses, is because at some point in time, we did stuff that other people told us to do that we did not like, that we did not see the point of. And we discovered that there was this tool called eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, whatever platform it is of your choice, more likely eBay than not, that allowed you to start applying yourself somehow. That it wasn't just about the products that you could sell or the arbitrage you could find or the fact that you saw profit that no one else did. It was the fact that you could create a business around you that worked, regardless of the dollars. Of course, you need some dollars eventually, and you want growth rather than no growth. But you managed to create this bespoke thing, and based on things that only you thought you saw, little treasures here and there that, how come no one is picking this up? How is this still on the shelf? But I've picked it up and sold it for, hundreds of dollars of profit. All those things told you that your abilities were special. And that's really more of what that woo-woo is about. When I think about it, a lot of us relate to this conversation that I'm having with you because you enjoy the feeling of uniqueness that this business gives you. You're not just a piece in the cog. This masterpiece of a business was something that you created. And actually, once you start scaling this masterpiece up, if you hire the wrong people, they'll tell you that your business sucks and it doesn't work, or they don't like what you're doing, because at the end of the day, they're not you, right? So the fact that when you're just you and you're doing you, it all makes sense, just tells you how much more you need to lean into your imagination to figure out the best version of this thing before you scale it up. So, all this to say, if you want to learn something, information's free. If you want to apply something, you can probably get some feedback here and there. But if you really want to lean into your imagination, applying the information that you learn every step of the way, join a community where you can have safe, good conversations about you and the ideas you have and the information that you take in, so that you can actually lean into and see your imagination become your reality. Not someone else's idea of what you should be, not the typical success story, your success story. And that's the space I want to create via the listing live streams that we run on the channel. Thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing me to share with you my thoughts and to give you a bit of insight into how I learn and grow, I suppose. Until next video, take care. I'll see you in a live stream, hopefully Tuesday night, or this week, Thursday morning, although usually Friday mornings. Take care. Happy reselling. Bye.